Well, hello everyone. This is Barbara Murphy-Shannon with Chatting with Coaches. And with me today, of course, is my co-host, Laura Diaz. Laura, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Barbara. Hello, I'm Laura Diaz, and I'm within Harmony Coaching. And welcome everybody who's watching us and those who are on replay as well. I'm glad you're here.
Yes, we are very happy you're here. And I'm Barbara Murphy-Shannon. I'm a life and business coach as well. And we started chatting with coaches. We try to bring it out weekly. We decide on a certain topic that we think is important in today's time. And with COVID, and then we have the holidays coming up, we thought that it would be a good time to talk about happiness and how to stay happy during this time, because it can be challenging. And a lot of people might think that happiness isn't a choice, but yet it is. So I was going to just start off with this story, just to put everything into perspective. So the story is when Harvard at one time had a class that was the #1 class, and the class was how to be happy, and it was over the top, most attended class ever. And so the research behind that is what happened is that when a student would, get accepted into Harvard, they were super happy, right? I mean, who wouldn't be happy to, be able to go to Harvard, right? You worked your butt off probably up to that point to get into Harvard. You get into Harvard. They found within 4 to 6 weeks that the same students were depressed. And they were like, why? Why are these students depressed? 6 weeks ago, they were very happy. So through the research, what they found is once they were in, then they started worrying about, were they going to be the top of the class? Were they going to be able to, go to grad school? Were they going to be able to go next? They started worrying about the future. And so what the process showed is that what we do a lot of times is we'll say to ourselves, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. We lose 20 pounds and we're still the same person. Or we'll say, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. You lose 20 pounds, you're like, all right, now I'll be happy when, I get that, corner job on the window in the C-suite, So what happens with us is psychologically is we're changing the goalpost consistently. So if we look at it like, I'll be happy, when I lose 20 pounds. I get to that goalpost. Well, okay, now what's going to make me happy? And then you make a new goalpost, and you keep making a new goalpost, as opposed to being happy in the present time, as opposed to being happy and knowing that external things don't make us happy. We can be happy based on our psychology and how we live each day. So rather than having these external situations that we think will make us happy, I'll be happy when I get that job. I'll be happy when I meet the man of my life. I'll be happy, there's so many of those that will not predict your happiness. Because just getting to a goalpost doesn't mean that you're going to be happy. Have I know you read Shannon Corr's book. It's the same story that's from his book. Laura, so what do you think about that?
Yeah, the concept of happiness, we're taught that happiness is outside of us. And so we start making up stories like, I'll be happy when I get this job. I'll be happy when I have this kind of relationship. I'll be happy when I make this kind of money. So we're encouraged to think that way. And so through my own personal research and personal development, I've discovered that happiness doesn't happen necessarily that way. It can when you reach a certain post, but the moments of happiness that we can cultivate ourselves are more meaningful. And what I mean by that there's so many simple ways that we can cultivate happiness, as you mentioned earlier, and one of them is gratitude. Mm-hmm. Because when we start recognizing the simple things that we're grateful for, we have a sense of well-being inside of us. And that in itself can be seen as a moment of happiness. Or when we achieve something nice, or when we contribute or help somebody out. Like this morning, I got a call from a colleague from a networking group that I've been a member for the last 3 years, and I stopped being a member this year. However, one of the members that I got to know very well, she lost her employment this year, and she's not doing very well, so she has not been attending the meeting. So one of the other members called me to see if I was open to talking with her, to just to give her a phone call, because she's been isolating herself at home and seemed kind of depressed and not doing very well physically. She's got some illness with diabetes and has not been able to return back to work. So she asked if I'd be open to just calling her, just to encourage her, just to say hi.
Right.
And so she's also opening, like she's recruiting some of the group to see if anybody wants to pitch in just to give her a gift card, because
Wow.
she's financially not doing well. And just the idea of contributing to another fellow person that I know that is in need and is not doing well, that's in itself is a moment of contribution, and that makes me feel good. There's a moment of happiness because I get to help
Right.
somebody else. When we are in moments of that we get to help or do something or share something with somebody else to make a difference, that feels good.
Right.
But yeah, I think, many times we need to distinguish, what is happiness? Yes, it can be outside and it also can be inside.
Mhm.
And exploring those two options throughout different times.
Right. And you brought up another point, or a way to challenge the I'm not happy mind thoughts. Gratitude, definitely. And then also just taking it away from yourself. Random acts of kindness are huge.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you in random, not like yours is conscious, but random act of conscious, contributing to someone. So I had done a retreat with some women, and I had challenged them to go out and they each had a stack of Post-it notes. They could write whatever they want, but it was supposed to be positive messages, and just hand them out to anybody on the street, or your waiter, or anyone and everyone. So it might say on the Post-it note, like, you're special, or you rock, or you've made my day. I mean, there were all these very positive messages. And at first the group was like, oh yeah, whatever, this will be fun. They didn't realize the impact that they were going to have on that community. So, like one lady that was given one at the restaurant, she was our waitress, she started to cry. She's like, you don't understand what a rough day I've been having. And this little Post-it note just made my day. There was a guy that was a waiter at that night for dinner, and he was kind of a jerk. He was like really like I think we were a bunch of women and we were loud and giggly, and he was just kind of like, I sent something back because it wasn't good, and he was just kind of pissed off, you could tell. So one of the women in the group said, give him a note, give him a Post-it note. So I don't even know what was on it, but she handed it to him, and the guy was like 30-ish. He started to cry. He's like, ladies, you don't understand what this does for me. He goes, I'm overworked, someone didn't show up, we don't have enough help, I'm stressed out, I'm running around, and you just hand me this note, and it's like, made my night. And so, like, you just don't know how big of an impact something so small as a little, encouragement on a Post-it note.
Yeah.
He went back and told the whole staff, and they all came over wanting their own note.
Yeah, sometimes it really makes a difference just to get an acknowledgement or a little note of kindness around the marca. As a matter of fact, the other day I saw this, I don't know, I don't know if it was on Facebook, somewhere I saw it about
Laura,
a drive.
Laura, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just noticed my computer has 15% going, but I want you to keep talking, and I don't want you to think I'm leaving you. Keep going.
Okay, so that there was this story about this drive-through. I think it was a coffee shop. And so what happened is that the person started to pay for the cup of coffee for the driver behind. And so this random act of kindness of the drivers paying for the coffee for the driver behind them kept going for 2 days.
Oh my goodness.
For 2 days.
Wow.
So as soon as somebody would drive up in the next morning, the attendant would give them the coffee, and they said, somebody already paid it for you. You know, the last driver last night. And so what he did, he said, here's for the next driver that comes up. So this continued on for 2.5 days of people getting a free cup of coffee and then purchasing the coffee for the next person that comes up.
That's
you know, for that to happen for 2.5, that tells me that people, you know, are open to sharing, open to giving random acts of kindness. And when they receive some kindness, they're open to, you know, doing that themselves as well.
Right, right. So I love that. So there's, you know, 2 examples we've given that the folks watching can participate in if they're interested. You know, next time you're at Starbucks, pay for the person behind you. You're going to make somebody's day. Grab a stack of Post-its, put them in your purse, put them in your back pocket, wherever you carry stuff, even in your car, and, you know, write a note when you see somebody and hand it to them. You know,
Yeah.
this right now, like people that are working at the retail stores, I mean, it's hard to work at retail over Christmas, never mind having to wear a mask and count the number of people that come in. And people are going to get crabby because that's what people do around the holidays. Because, you know, it's not easy. Everybody's like going to work all day, and then you have this added pressure of that you got to go buy presents, and you got to go get the wrapping paper, and you've got to, you know, make sure everything's done right. There's another one. Let's just,
you know, let me share, talking about that. I bought these cards months ago and I haven't used them. See? And so what these cards are, every card has a motivational, inspirational something. You know, each card is a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, and it has something positive. If you can dream it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something, congratulations, you did it.
Right.
And it has all kinds of random positive things. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to take this with me. So, and when I get a chance to be around live other people, which probably won't be until next year, I'm going to take this with me and randomly give a card to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you still go to the grocery store, right? You're still going some places.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? I know I go to the grocery store, I'm going to have to go do some Christmas shopping, I suppose. You know, and then we do have restaurants open here. So we can do it that way with the encouragement as well. And then I was going to say about perfection. That's another big one. Like, you know, perfection doesn't exist. So why drive yourself crazy? You know, just do the best you can. The best you can is perfect. It's like, it doesn't have to be the perfect meal and the perfect wrapping and the perfect this and the perfect that, to the point where if it's driving, you know, like if you're stressed out, then that's a clear indication you're doing too much. You don't need to do all that much. Do you ever see the, I think it's Amazon. I think it was Amazon. They were selling, I think it's just a joke, but they were selling cat beds or cat houses, and basically it's just an Amazon box.
Right.
So the cat just like the box, right? You don't have to go. It's kids too. I remember when my kids were little, we buy them a toy and they played with the box for hours that the toy came in. Not the toy, not the box. I'm like, if I had known that, I would have just bought them a box. So sometimes, you know, we make it up in our own head what everybody is expecting, as far as like all the things that you may think need to be done. You know, the decorations, the perfect tree, the perfect this, the perfect that. There's no perfection.
You know, and the state of happiness is something that we can cultivate. You know, this year has been a challenging year for many of us. You know, it's something that we didn't expect. It's sort of like our life was disrupted, our routines, everything was disrupted, and we were asked to adapt in some way. And it wasn't easy to disrupt our lifestyle and really come into terms with ourselves. But
Mhm.
at the same time, many of us learned many things about ourselves during this pandemic. And one of the things that I learned was that we all have responsibility for our own well-being. And part of our own well-being is maintaining our level of optimism and happiness. Because if we can maintain an attitude of optimism, that helps us in supporting moments of happiness where we can cultivate. You know, just even writing a list to yourself, things that I appreciate about myself or things that I'm grateful for today. I mean, all that simple writing gives you an internal sense of well-being, an internal sense of happiness, you know, because there's going to be moments and days that we don't feel good. But if we choose to do an exercise like this, it's simple. You can just write it. You start making a shift with your own self. And we all can do that.
Yeah. Well, and the science behind that too, as far as psychology, is when you do write something down, um, positive or negative, but we're going for positive here and gratitude, um, your brain thinks you're reliving it.
Yeah.
You get to relive it twice. So like, so it's reinforcing whatever that is. So say it was, I'm happy that my family's healthy. Um, so now that reinforces in your brain that you're happy about your family being healthy, or you're happy because you are employed, whatever that thing is, or
Yeah.
you have gratitude for that. The other ones is positive writing. So just something that happened that day that you're happy about, that's positive. Like, hey, my internet didn't go out today. Yay. you know, because those tech things sometimes can like drive you crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just writing those things down, your brain thinks you're you're reliving it, so then it's reinforcing the happiness component of that, which makes you happier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like to kind of wrap it up, some of the suggestions Laura and I have given you is definitely gratitude, writing down what you're grateful for, having gratitude. Remember that the little things in life are what matters. And then if you want, you could do the post-its where you do random acts of kindness, or pay for a coffee behind for the person behind you, or whatever drive-through you go through. Perfection does not exist. Don't try, doesn't work. And the last is like really just take care of yourself, both internally and externally. Because if you're overexhausted, go get a nap. If you need to get outside, go for a walk. Just, try not to overindulge. I don't think there's going to be as many holiday parties to do that.
No, no.
But don't eat the whole box of chocolates yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Laura, and thank you everyone for watching us, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday. And in any way that you celebrate it, enjoy your family, enjoy this time, and we are all grateful. We're grateful for you for watching us.
Yes, I wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And also remember, you can spend every day and create small moments of happiness for yourself. There's many little things we can do.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.